see you today. We're going to be doing colors, and so the brand ambassadors will show you how they use them, how they mix them. Please join in, and if you've got questions, please ask any questions that you have. I'm going to open up Facebook in a second. So Ashley, if you would, and Buffy, if you could, assist me with Facebook, that'd be wonderful when if you can.
Got it.
So welcome and hello.
Hello, hello.
Letiza, do you want to start?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
We have on the top, hello everyone. So I add my main screen. So I remove this one and this one too. So today we are talking about another half pound set. The name is called Catcher set. So that's Catcher, and it includes the 6 colors. This are the 6 main colors the Catcher can use. And we have the Hansa Yellow Medium, the Quinacridone Rose, the Ultra main color the Catcher can. Okay, so there was the return. So I repeat, the Hansa Yellow Medium, the Quinacridone Rose, the Ultramarine Blue, yeah, they are very used. The Cerulean Blue Chromium, the Monte Amiata Natural Sienna, and the Transparent Red Oxide. So all obviously, as you already know, the Hansa Yellow Medium and the Quinacridone Rose are non-granulating color, while the other 4 colors are granulated. So in their different tones, they are transparent here, the Quinacridone Rose, the Monte Amiata, and the Ultramarine, and the Transparent Red Oxide, while the semi-transparent is the Hansa Yellow Medium and the Cerulean Blue Chromium. I would like also to introduce where to find the syllab, all the colors. So you can compare all the colors and find their features, like the number of the pigment and the name of the pigment. Pigment blue, 29 for ultramarine blue, and so on. Pigment 36 for the cerulean blue chromium. And also how they stain. So from medium, low, non-staining, like the transparent, that is very, very transparent. And so which are granulated or not, with the transparency and the light pattern. So and all of them are with number 1 light pattern. So they last over 100 years. And then you can find the detect of the complementary colors. So now this is listed only for the cerulean blue chromium, and then you have the value of the luminance and the value for the A and B sections. So, and I can show you a little sketch for Catcher I did for my anniversary with my husband. They are 15, we are married. So this was taken from my 15 years ago picture on our favorite lake. And I use here the cerulean blue chromium as a perglade with wet on wet. Then again, I did a mixture of the cerulean blue with the ultramarine blue. Very, very light with wet on wet. And then when on dry paper, I did a heavy mixture with the cerulean blue chromium and ultramarine blue, and then a layer of ultramarine again. And then here, when I did the trees, I put a little bit of Hansa Yellow Medium. So again, a very light wash of wet on dry of cerulean blue chromium. And this is very, very easy, small, and they are very useful for something very quick. So they are a basic colors, a basic blue colors you can use. So now Giovanni can do another painting, another sketch for post office. So he has found a box, the letter box that usually in the United States you have in a blue color.
Yes, starting, hello everyone, starting with the simple sketch for explain the famous artist sketch for tomorrow, Luciano. And the set is very, very beautiful because it's very not complicated, but it's very complex to use all the color but I prefer to connect the two blue, ultramarine blue and cerulean blue color because it's a color for my marriage era, and I love these two blue. And starting on the postal, the postal office with a glaze of cerulean blue chromium. Simple sketch with the big brush. The glaze of cerulean blue. And continues with ultramarine for the shade. Another cerulean blue chromium. I love this combination because it's similar to monochromatic, but with these two blue have a various range of shade. I use the ultramarine for the dark and the cerulean blue for the light, for the first shade. And the combination of two is perfect. And the sequencing, when I use the cerulean blue before and 1 drop of ultramarine, the explosion is this, and the ultramarine and cerulean blue after is more fast, but don't see the similar notes. And continues the dark shade. And very funny for the sketching. And in this set, for example, with the combination of these two blue with the yellow is perfect for create a mix of beautiful green. This is ultramarine, cerulean, and ultramarine, and 1 drop of yellow, and create the beautiful green for the bush. This part. This is a very unique set. And we use the ultramarine for the dark. Another point of yellow. Okay. And continues for my sketching. And use the ultramarine for the dark shade. And create the United States Postal Office. Shade. And another beautiful combination with the two blue with the transparent red oxide. And apply the ultramarine before and cerulean blue after. And drops of these or create this dark blue brown.
Yes, with this 6 color you can do many
Many
tones.
But my starting is with two blue. And continues. Painting now during the live, John. Thank you.
Thank you, Giovanni.
You're welcome.
Next, we're gonna have Lo. There. Hello.
Is she ready?
Ready, Lo?
Yes, yes.
She's connecting.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I apologize. I thought I was
Oh.
after.
Oh.
So I have ultramarine blue and Hansa yellow medium today. So I'm happy to show you some of my favorite things to do with these colors. The ultramarine blue is on my dot card. One of my favorite things to do with it is mix with walnut ink. And so this is an example. This is actually a print, but it shows you just how beautiful that mix is. This was done on a Balhong rough press paper. So one example. Another favorite, when I think of combining this blue and this yellow, it always reminds me of an exercise in this really fantastic book that I love by Hazel Sloan. She does a tonal value study on one of the pages, just using, it's a different yellow and blue, but the principle is still the same, using paler white objects against a background. And I'll show you my similar sketch that I did with the ultramarine and the Hansa yellow medium. I have these little figures that a friend of mine made, some figurative art pottery, a pottery friend, and capturing, you know, the ruffles and the sweep in the dress and the couple is a lot of fun. So sort of some food for thought. Another trick I wanted to share, you know, we were talking about swatching a little bit earlier, and I did a couple little swatches on mineral paper and just wanted to kind of bring that to your attention because it really helps you understand the character of the pigments. And you can see the particles in the ultramarine blue really, really clearly, and that particular paper has a lot of luminosity. So I think it's just a fun way to really get to know the pigments by just swatching them on this really silky surface. So for sketching today, I wanted to share, I've been doing a series of paintings that I'm working toward a final idea. So this is a sketch, and we'll do another sketch in this family in a little bit. After the forsythia bloomed in the yard, I kept thinking how lovely it would be, these yellow flowers against a blue vase. And I've been looking at a lot of Delft pottery and this ikebana style that I've been really taken with, of a single perfectly placed branch inside the vase. So this is a sodalite and a lot of coin gold, but also Hansa yellow medium. So let's do another sketch in this series, but using the Hansa yellow medium and ultramarine. So I'll start with my, just sort of a simple, fun sketch. I'll scoot some of this a little out of my way. So I'll start with my ultramarine blue. I'm just using some Arches cold press today. And I love the way it travels across the paper. Sort of loosen some of these edges. And make the neck of my vase a little longer. Next, we'll use this really bright, beautiful Hansa yellow just to make some little loose petals. They don't have to be exactly forsythia, but they're definitely inspired. And I want to do them quickly and still have a lot of water in my mix. And I'm leaving plenty of white, little gaps. And then I'll connect them. You know, we talk a lot about mixing on the palette and mixing on the paper, but I've been playing some with mixing with my brush. So I'm going to grab some of the Hansa and then the blue and just connect them. I put a little too much water. Connect them really loosely so that all those colors are going to blend together.
What does this all mean for me? What does this decision, what are the implications of
And I'll come back in with a little bit more blue and do some leaves. Just for loose, just fun sketching and getting to know the colors. Maybe some splashes. And then I will let this dry just a little bit, and then I'm going to use a little stamp. So I've been inspired again by this blue and this sort of a Delft pottery idea, and also inspired by some antique quilts that I have. Especially one, they were made by my great grandmothers actually, and they're antique and they have the flower sack backs, which is really beautifully done. And I love the double wedding ring pattern. So this is just a fine liner, and I'm going to use the end of it to make little circles. I'm just going to dip edge into my ultramarine. It's such a nice strong color. It actually makes a fun stamp, and try to recreate the quilt pattern loosely, just to add some fun in the vase. So thank you. Yeah, just a quick little floral sketch and other ideas of way to play, especially with the ultramarine.
Lol, can I ask
Lol.
you? There's a question about your dagger brush you were using. And I also wanted to compliment that I love the geometric shapes with the organic shapes. Very cool. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. So the dagger brush I've got, this is a Princeton. I have all the daggers. This one, it's a steel dagger. I'm enjoying it. It's a 3/8 inch. So, and I like the mixing on the brush to then bring out the color inside the stems and the leaves.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody. Let's see. I was excited about this combination, the cerulean chromium hue and the quinacridone pink, because when you mix them together, you get those fun color separations and this really dynamic purple color. So I thought I would just do a quick painting and let the colors play on paper. That's always a fun way to get to know some colors. And I'm using this pink trumpet tree as a little bit of a reference. So I'm going to take some of that quinacridone pink with some of the cerulean, and I'll mix it here first. And I'm just going to take my brush and going to put in some purple branches first and let it connect to those wet areas. I also had a little liner brush. I'm going to add just a little bit of Amiata in there now, Monte Amiata, to get a little change in color, a little bit of a shift. Already here you can see where those color separations are happening. I'm going to put a little bit more Amiata now, get another color shift. So if you're doing stem work, if you go cool and warm and also different values, it can create the illusion of branches forward and back. So I'm just doing a few different sizes too, different widths, a little bit more on Tamiata. Do some thicker ones as well. And then I can do the beautiful little buds. A little bit more. There we go. Now I'm going to go in a little bit smaller of a quill brush, and I'll take the quinacridone pink. Start putting in the shapes of the flowers, inviting them to play on the paper. Some of that cerulean blue. A neat thing too is the cerulean blue is granulating where the quinacridone pink isn't. And so that creates interest as well. When you take a granulating color and you mix it with a non-granulating staining color like the quinacridones, you can get some excitement. Then I have a little remixed pink I'll put in there too. I love watching colors mix on the paper. It's so fun. Seeing all the different colors that want to come up from it. Hey, Lowell, this works good for circles too. Little sponge dabber. Then you can move it
I love
around.
it.
Yeah. So you can see how those colors want to create some beautiful purples and separations. And you can see where the little tiny bit of the Amiata can also add a little bit of interest. Because the trumpet flowers actually have the color almost identical, some little sunbursts. And then once this dries, then I can go in and shape my flowers a little bit more. But maybe at the end we can come back and I can show where I've gone with it. But this is my start, just letting the colors mix on the paper. Thank you for letting me share.
Buffy, your nails are coordinated with your painting.
Oh, hey.
Nice, Buffy. I love that.
Oh, hey, Pesnick. Thank you.
Up next, we're gonna have Besnick.
Hi, everyone.
Hello, Besnick.
So tonight, hi, John. Hi,
Besnick.
everyone. Hi. So tonight I will be playing with Monte Amiata and ultramarine blue. Ultramarine blue is always a favorite blue color of each one of us. You see the tubes that I already used. Lucky I have another one. Same here, I just did a normal swatch just right now of Monte Amiata, and here I played with a little bit tiny amount of French ultramarine blue. Such a rich pigment it is, same as French ultramarine. Both are very rich, and I usually use it for skies, for water, any kind of blue colors. In this part, I will play by mixing these two, but on wet paper. So I will wet the paper here first, this smaller part, and then in here I will play a little bit more. So I will just do the mix with first with Monte Amiata, and then let's see how they will react. I want to add here with the more higher viscosity. Will have more pigment. Creates interesting effect. Okay, we leave it dry, and then I will play with another color. Here I will play with these two colors, and then I'm thinking to add cobalt teal blue, which is also beautiful blue color. I suppose we have enough time.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, the 2 seconds.
I will need maybe 5 minutes maximum.
Yes.
Just to
Go.
Thank you. So now I'm wetting the paper. partially, not all, with this brush. I will paint here by my intuition. I don't have anything in mind. I will just go further, see what kind of effects we will get. I'm sure it will look interesting. First, I will play with ultramarine blue, bottom here. I already love this. It came beautiful. Sorry, I am complimenting my work, but I really love it.
Somebody's got to do it, right?
Yeah, I don't hear any of you guys complimenting me, so I'm giving compliments to myself.
I think
We'll
what
have
you're
to-
really complimenting is Daniel Smith paint.
There's nothing about like confidence, is there, Besnick? I love it.
Poor Besnick
you.
needs compliments so much because he has no knowledge of how wonderful he really is.
It's beautiful, Besnick.
Yeah, I
Wow.
really love it. I really love it. It came very beautiful as a background and also as a part of the sea, some reflection. Here, now I'm thinking to play with Monte Amiata. I will add some other darker color as a bottom, but it inspires me to go further as some seascape. So now I will go with adding more Monte Amiata here. Let's see what will happen. Keeping my fingers crossed. Bottom here, I will add cobalt teal blue. A little bit of lunar black here. Just for contrast. It's the bottom of after it gets dry, I will try to play with some dry brush stroke here. Since now it's wet, I play in meantime, and some other brand ambassador maybe can show their masterpieces. Thank you so much for watching until now, and I will go further painting. Just let it dry because I never prefer to dry by hair dryer. I always leave it like this because I love the colors how they come by itself drying.
I
So
just
thank you so
love
much for
this.
watching.
I love the suggestions of things that make my mind just put in other details in my brain, and I love it.
Thank you.
Thank you, best Nick.
Thank you so
Up
much.
next, we have Caroline from all the way from Australia.
Caroline is muted.
Yeah. Thank you. Sorry, I was unmuting the wrong device, so I'm sorted out now. We have got fun today because they're two colours that I adore and I use quite a bit of. Monte Amiata, which is the natural sienna. I did come across my learning a few years ago when I was looking for the beautiful colours that John Singer Sargent used, and both ultramarine and a light sienna that he used in his time marry beautifully to the two Daniel Smith colours that we're showing today. But we were also talking, I think somebody else mentioned, about swatching while we were just setting up for the meeting just an hour ago. And, you know, some people said, oh, I hate swatching. Other people said, I love swatching. And Ashley, who's constantly inspired me, has excited my world of swatching so much bigger. And for that reason, I've been doing swatching with my students, where we each lesson actually do a quick little exploration of something linked to what we're doing and taking the swatching into more and more and more as we go. So understanding it. Also, looking at how to find a colour. You can't work out how to get all these different colour rusts unless you swatch. The swatching is so cool. And I'll take you on a little journey through my sample page here. Looking at a swatch page, like I did last week, these become a part of a library of information. It's not just a couple of dots on a page. It's got story. It's got different effects. It tells me about how the paint behaves. It shows me the combination of colours and how they mix. It shows me the intense full colour versus a washed out colour and the different variations of the colour range. Could even be lighter. I could even go lighter there. So looking at the two colours, it shows me when I put the ultramarine underneath and the Monte Sienna over the top, and then the other way around when I've got the Monte Amiata underneath and then the ultramarine over the top. So this page itself gives me so much information if I'm looking for a combination when I'm trying to select colours for an artwork, as opposed to just doing a block of colour swatches. Doing a whole page that inspires what's the art going to look like if I choose those two colours is why I think swatching is really cool. And getting to know your paints as you go, you're getting to know their intensity, their behaviours, their particular features. And you don't know that when you just look at a tube, and you don't necessarily know that if you just swatch out one colour. You actually got to do these combinations to actually understand the benefits of what's in the tube and what I'm going to do with it. It excites the mind. So swatching doesn't have to be boring. It can be really, really fun. But one of the things that we have been doing a lot recently is doing transitions from one colour, adding a tiny bit of the alternate colour right through until you get back to the original colour again. So this then gives me a block of how many different variable colours I can mix just with these two colours. And I think that's a cool exercise in itself, because it reminds you that a Monte Amiata is not a pure yellowy colour. It's actually got some browns and undertones in it. So it doesn't go straight into a green. It goes more into a lovely, I suppose, a dirty grey green before it heads into a beautiful warm greys and into blue greys, into denim-y colours right through until you get back to the ultramarine. So very different qualities, seeing it swatched in that way. The only thing I haven't tested on this page yet that I often would use is lifting. So I want to see how these colours lift. So I can use my little eradicator brush to see if they're going to lift out. And I can see ultramarine lifts beautifully. And can I see the same from the Monte Amiata? And I can see it does the same. So this little technique actually gives me that little window of, okay, I know if I wanted to add highlights and I've missed them in my painting, I know I can lift those colours beautifully and they will work without a problem. So that's another thing on a swatch page that I often chase. I like to do a wet and wet wash underneath just to see how they merge together. Is it the colour range that I'm chasing? Is it warm enough? Is it bright enough? Those sort of things. So doing a silhouette concept over it. So there's lots of ways this page can help me when I'm selecting for an artwork by having it in my swatch library. The other thing about transitioning is we've been doing it, like I said, with my students for a while. So we actually started creating transition charts of lots of combinations. And just as a fun exercise, this was a great fun exercise. And I've made it with this cute little slidey thing so you can, you know, pinpoint in, hone in on the color group that you're looking at. And you can actually then do a little swatch card to match your swatch, and you can see the combination together. So yeah, swatching can be done in many ways. It doesn't have to be boring. But when you're putting beautiful combinations together, like the Monte Amiata, Natural Sienna, and the French Ultramarine, this tells me a great story that reminds me how gorgeous they are as a combination and as individual colours together. So there's my story about these two gorgeous colours.
Caroline, what paper do you prefer to swatch on? And is paper you normally use? And I'll ask the question everybody else wants to ask too, how you make your slider.
Oh, I'll show you how to make the slider. So paper-wise, I think I discussed this last week. Because I teach and I provide my students their art materials in class, I like everybody to have the same thing, so they're getting the same results from the same techniques that they're being taught. And being a practice as such, and not, you know, not gallery art as such, I looked in many brands and tried many different student papers. And I use the Montfort Canson in classes. I'm not saying it's better or worse than others. I'm just saying it suits me. It suits the style that I paint in. And it's a very cheap, you know, it's not very cheap. It's a very good basic cost for your learning journey. Once you start understanding your watercolors themselves, I always highly recommend you then up your paper qualities, up your the paper weights, the surfaces, trial different soft press, hot press, rough, all those things. I love Bauhong, I love Arches, all my professional work are on those two brands. I haven't really played much with some of the other international brands because they're not necessarily available to me easily in my marketplace. So yeah, it's Montfort by Canson is my test papers that I use for this sort of thing. It also stops you worrying about, oh my God, that's expensive paper. I'm not going to swatch on expensive paper. You just do it. You do your swatch and you learn about your product. So don't be frightened of that. Now, in respect to making one of these fantastic charts, so all you have to do is, if I put this up on its side, you might be able to see, I've got a board at the back. It's just matte board. I've got an A3 300 GSM watercolor paper. It is a Bauhong by chance because that's the size that I had for this. And my little slider was just a little, can we see inside there? It's just a little 3 folded and taped piece of card, which because these sides are not stuck to the backboard, it can then slide around, and it's a full circle. This little slider is a full circle. Before I taped the end closed, I put the sliders on and then tape the ends closed. So be creative, make your own cute little slider chart, and get swatching with fun, and don't make it a chore, make it really, really fun. And then they become tools that you use when you're creating beautiful artwork. So highly recommend enjoying the swatching. There you go.
Thank you, Caroline.
Hello.
Next with Buffy. I'm sorry,
Hi.
Ashley.
That's all right. I would love to be confused with Buffy. That's an honor. First of all, Caroline, you've made my entire life. So if I'm inspiring Caroline Diebel, like I can die happy right now, basically. So thank you for that. So welcome to my mess. I'm playing with one of my very favorite colors, transparent red oxide. And this is kind of my answer for burnt sienna. So anytime something calls for burnt sienna, I'm going to grab transparent red oxide because this color is so cool. And I don't mean that it's a cold color. I just mean it's bad. It's really cool. Look at the granulation. I call this chunky granulation. I know it's not very scientific, but I love what this color does. So not only do you get granulation, but you get this really cool like separation. And it's going to show different on different paper. So this is Fabriano Soft Press, which is kind of a mix between hot and cold. And then let's see, what's this one? This is Arches Cold Press, I believe, or rough, I'm not sure. But you can kind of still get that cool chunky granulation in there. Here's one that's drying also on Arches. This is 300 pound. And that one's still a little bit wet. Here's one on the 300 pound Fabriano Soft Press. How pretty it is. I love it. This one's my favorite though. Just the way that, look at the depth you can achieve. Incredible. Okay. This color is on my dot card. And I use it for so many things. And one of the things that I use it for, like in every session when I'm teaching a student and we're doing pets or any pet that I'm doing, I'm going to mix transparent red oxide with ultramarine blue also in this set. And look, they're right next to each other. How convenient is that? Okay, so I'm going to show you when this is kind of drying, but this is the ultramarine and the transparent red oxide. And look what happens. They kind of start separating away from each other. So when you mix them, you can get a black. You can get dark brown. You could replace burnt umber. So here's kind of a swatch I made that like paint gray maybe. And if you want it more neutral, you're just going to add more or less of each color, and you're going to play around till you get to where you want to be. So let me move all this madness. Here we go. All right. So this page right here, these are mixes just between the ultramarine and the transparent red oxide. Look at that right there. I love how they separate. And if you're painting something white and you need shadows, this is my go-to. So you can get cool or warm shadows, depending on how much you use of one or the other. So obviously this one has more ultramarine and this one has more transparent red oxide. And then look at that, guys, you can get black. It's such a versatile mix. And then I want to show you a couple of examples of artwork where I've used this. So first one is their little owl friend. I've used it for the eyes. See how black you can get it? You would think I would have used like neutral tint or something, but no. You can see here, I've used it. Look at the way it separates. Sorry, I get absolutely giddy talking about color, and my poor family has to hear it all the time, and they have no idea what I'm talking about. So I'm really excited to be among people who get it. Right there, you can see it. So I've used it here. This is more ultramarine, but this is my, you can see it. Just love it. All right, next one. This is transparent red oxide by itself. I think maybe I might have mixed a little bit ultramarine for these darker areas, but this is mostly your transparent red oxide. Okay, this one's one of my favorites. I used primarily transparent red oxide for this whole dog. I saw a picture of this dog on the internet and I was like, you gotta be kidding me. This is a real dog. And I had to paint it. So look at that ears here. You can kind of see. I love getting like back runs, cauliflowers, blooms, blossoms, whatever you call it. Those are my favorite. I seek those out. And finally, this is a really good example. Sorry, this one's kind of big. This is a really good example of mixing those two colors together. So this is, I'm going to show you the whole image. It's kind of big, guys. Sorry, we're going high. So all of this is that mix. And then I even brought it in here. I brought it into the chest area. And I wish I could remember. I think this might be Mars Yellow. I wish it was Monte Amiata because that would be perfect, but I think it's Mars Yellow. So yeah, all of this is all transparent red oxide up in here. So you can see how versatile that color is alone and also mixed with ultramarine. And then I don't want to take it. Yeah.
Let's put that owl back for a second.
Yeah.
When you first put that up, I went, oh my gosh, those eyes are Ashley's eyes looking at me from that owl. And isn't it funny because they say artists paint their eyes first, like Pablo Picasso puts his eyes in everything. They're your eyes in that owl.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. I have to admit, I followed a tutorial for this one, Louise DeMasi. So I have to shout out to Louise because I did not paint that one alone, let's say. One more mix from the set I have to do a shout out to. This set, you can get a fire engine red two ways. So one, you can mix the yellow and the quinacridone rose together to get a fire engine red. Or, surprise, surprise, you can mix transparent red oxide with quin rose. And you can get these gorgeous, this one's a little more earthy than a fire engine red, but you're still getting this really gorgeous red, like a deep red color. And then this is the cerulean blue chromium. And finally, our Monte Amiata, because we have to mention it. So, welcome to my mess. Thank you for letting me share.
Thank you, Ashley.
Great mess.
So Giovanni is continuing painting and also he found some mixes with the transparent red oxide to create the shadows.
And also yellow. Continue my dark mix of shadow.
Here there was the quinacridone rose.
Yeah. Just mixing. Little point for the violet. And transparent red oxide. A lot of ultramarine. Dark shadow and created the and drawing shade. And I love this movement. And after this is a combination with cerulean blue. This is a photo. My photo reference is more light, but I prefer more dark. And create the mix with cerulean. Oops. And create dark shadows here. And continues I love this because, for example, when I'm mixing the ultramarine blue and transparent red oxide, another step of ultramarine, obtain this dark brown and cerulean blue and transparent red oxide and another layer of cerulean blue. And look at the difference. And try it on the paper. This is with cerulean. And this is with ultramarine. And very, very different. And I love it. I'm using this part, cerulean, on this part of shadows. And ultramarine for it simulated the rust on the postal box. And very movement of this after using the cerulean blue. More strong color. Continues on the leaves on the top. And after, last with the yellow. For the create green effect. With reflection. And continue with the glowing part. This is very special for me because free my hand for my classical routine. And the sketching very, very, very important. It's not easy the sketch, but it's very, very important. And that's all. Thank you.
Very nice. Thank you, Giovanni.
You're welcome, John. Thank you.
You.
Check on Buffy.
Okay, just in time for the tape to come off. Here you can see all those really pretty color mixing on the paper, all the color separations. Let's see. I'm not sure if you can hear me or not.
We can hear you.
Okay, there we go. You can see how just those three colors, the great variety that you get, and different values even, if you just build up in layers, or as Gio would say, your sequencing. So yeah, these pink trumpet trees, they grow from very South California all through Mexico and Southern America, Central America. So if you guys see them, how fun to paint, huh? And the three colors were the cerulean chromium blue, the quinacridone pink, and then the Monte Amiata. Thank you guys. Very fun to share. I love these colors together.
You get such a beautiful feminine touch with those colors.
Yeah, it's very soft palette, isn't it? Very soft and
Mm.
sweet. Like bubblegum, huh? Bubblegum sweet.
How about Bastic?
I'm playing with a mix. I already did the mix of Monte Amiata and ultramarine blue. It gives very nice gray. So all of these grays that you see, I did the mix. You can try yourself. I suppose you already tried. It gives interesting gray. So in here, I painted with that color. Here is lunar black that I used. I didn't get so much granulation. This part is the mix of Monte Amiata and ultramarine blue. So in this part, I played like a little bit abstract seascape, and here I'm just playing with this gray color that comes from these two combinations. It gives a little bit of granulation as well, if you prefer the granulation because of ultramarine blue. Yeah, I'm experimenting still. Maybe I will add both here. I don't know. I'll just leave it like this. Let's see.
Looks great, Besnick.
Thank you.
That's very nice, Besnick.
Thank you so much.
And we'll bring in Lo as well.
Right, since I had mineral paper out, I showed some swatches a little bit ago, and since I had it on the table, I thought it would be fun just to compare to show you a very, very similar little sketch, both on the cotton cold press as well as the mineral paper. So you can see how the colors mingle and mix and flow. It's a little bit like Yupo, but the textures that you can get are just a lot of fun. You can see the granulation of the ultramarine a lot more clearly, and it's just such a it's almost translucent, this paper, and so the light really bounces back at you and does some lovely things. So I thought a side by side would be a little fun. Thank you.
Great, Mom.
Great.
We can show everyone's output from today's session, John.
That'd be great.
Okay, here we go.
Huh.
Was Ashley's there?
And there's Buffy.
Otherwise, are we missing? Yeah, Plastic's there. Anyone from our audience who swatched along, played with the Sketcher set? Let's see. I thought I saw Erkin. John showed an artwork. Do you have an artwork there, Erkin?
I didn't paint today, but
Oh,
yesterday
yeah, there's one. Erkin.
Anna.
Very nice there, Ken.
There.
There we go. Oh, that's nice.
Ooh.
Nice, okay.
Beautiful. Good work, Erkin.
Wow.
Thank you.
Nice, Sergey.
Different shades of blue and sienna, buff titanium as well. Yesterday I did it with my students at my workshop.
Very nice.
Nice.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
That's great.
John,
Yes.
can we make one Besnick titanium? You already did one Buffy titanium is there, so I want another Besnick titanium. Sorry, Bob. I was just. I hope I didn't say
No,
something wrong.
No, not at all. That's playful.
No, Besnick, I understand. I want to submit bubblegum pink. So
Anna has
Anna.
painted along.
Yeah.
I love
Hi,
Anna.
hello,
Watching it.
Anna.
Fabulous, Anna.
Yeah. I actually I got that set and I still have a few of them still here and yeah, if you want another one for the transparent, this is in Canson Broth for Ashley. So that's another swatch for you. We're
love it.
swatch geeks, so I love it.
We're
All
here
the
for.
colors. Yeah.
Watch people.
And here's a little try it. And I did also Besnick, but I only have two hands, so very cool, everybody.
Very
Thank you.
nice.
Nice.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Well, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you for showing your work.
Thank you so much.
So much
Great.
to do.
Great to share.
Yep. Very nice. You got great
Yeah.
comments.
Go swatch, everybody.
Yep.
Yes.
Thank you.
Keep on
What do we
swatching.
say?
Thank
Go
you.
forth and
All
swatch.
tomorrow.
See you all
May the swatch
tomorrow
be with
then.
you.
It was
Yes,
nice
good to
borrowing
see
you.
you.
Thank you all.
Bye-bye,
We have a
everybody. Thank
special
you.
artist
Bye.
tomorrow,
Bye bye.
guys. Tune
Bye bye,
in.
John.
Good day.